dark at this time of the day. Can everyone hear me? More importantly, an extra light there. Ooh, there we go. Oh, it's 13 of you. Hi. You can see it's just after sunset here in South Africa. And it's not a creature on my chest, it's the microphone. Here we go, Marcy. Hi, Marcy. How's everyone doing? So, of course, we've been quite busy. Hi, Julie. Well, I hope you get to watch for a bit longer than a few minutes. So, we've been quite busy, even though I've been obviously crippled. Hi, Marilyn. Hi, Safari Lover. And no, I don't know the Safari Live schedule, I'm afraid. The foot is there. Hi, Carol. Hi, Marcy. So we've been quite busy, and we've decided that it's probably easier. A lot more people can actually chat at this time of the day than earlier in the day. And of course, for us, this time of the day is problematic most of the time because we're normally out on game drive. Hi, everyone. But obviously, with my foot in the cast, we're not on game drive at this time of the day. Well, I'm not, at least. Thank you, Trudy. Trudy, you can. There's Patreon only live chats for our patrons, and those will go through Patreon. And then this is a live chat for everyone. So yes, there's two different types of live chats. Hello, Barbara. Hello, Stacy. Generally, the Patreon live chats will be a bit longer, and we'll discuss questions in more in depth that people want to ask. Hi, everyone. Hi. So, as I said, we've been quite busy. I've managed to do quite a lot of admin, which is not my strong suit, but being stuck in my cast has caused me to do lots and lots of admin. I've tried to get out as much as possible. Laurie, the ankle's there. It's fine. It actually feels okay. I think I'm just very irritated with the cast at the moment. It's itchy, it's hot, not sleeping too well, but it's just in irritation. So I've only got about 10 more days left with it on, and then it gets cut off, and then we're going on to a moon boot, which should be great. I'll be very, very excited. Joanne, I've thought about cutting the cast off. I think about cutting the cast off on a daily basis. I'm not going to lie. But I managed to get quite active. I've got the guns going, working out the arms on the crutches, and of course I've had quite a busy couple of weeks. I mean, we've been to Durban for a youth conference. We did a lovely talk with Graham and Scotty. Yes, I can work with a moon boot. I'm allowed to drive with a moon boot. I'm still not allowed to drive a stick car at the moment, which is very, very frustrating. So yes, but so that was a very interesting trip for us to Durban. We learned a lot. We got to listen to some really interesting people. We got to meet some very, very cool people. The pup is fine. Pup is sitting next to me watching the darkness, making sure nothing sneaks up on me. Hi, Joe. Hi, who's that? Mara. So yeah, so hopefully in the next sort of 2 weeks or so, VM and I will be heading back out into the field on a could I Ashley, could I drive, and could I be the cam op? Unfortunately, that's the problem. So I can't keep my foot down for that length of time. So most of you will know this, I'm sure. Like a giraffe, that the skin around your calf muscle helps stop all the blood flow to your feet. Now, obviously, my calf muscle has disappeared. It's probably a quarter of what once was. So my foot can't stay down for too long. And when you're bashing and crashing through the bush, you can't sort of have your foot up and out. It would get stuck. And I got a strict talking to from my doctor saying, listen, if you want this thing to heal properly, don't go be an idiot. So I have listened as much as I can, and I haven't been an idiot and disappeared off and done things he has said don't do. So yes, yeah. So hopefully in the next 2 weeks, I'll be back out with my moon boot. And obviously the moon boot will add a bit more pressure because obviously as the swelling has subsided, has become more loose. So more blood that goes down. What is that? Sinak. Well, the Hexana hasn't entered the Voltane. Londo's is still in the Voltane. There's lots of new leopard activity, which is always exciting. It's Safari Live. I know. I get told quite a bit of it from Tristan and from Jamie. And as for the leopards, Sandy Bend is off on the next door property at the moment. She hasn't been seen in a while, so we're hoping she comes back just in time for me. We did film a male leopard just before this accident happened. He's named the Horseshoe Bend male. He's not the most relaxed around vehicles, but there will be a video coming out of him now. One of the other things I've been working with, and you'll all get to see them when they're done, is that we are busy been working on all the ID kits of the leopards and of that area. So we will be putting those up, and so everyone can give an idea. And of course, being sidelined for it's going to be nearly 2 months. I think by the time I'm back out in the vehicle. Oh, Michael, how many leopards? It's difficult to say, but from camera trap footage and whatnot, there are 2, 3, 4, probably 5 females in total, and well, young males come and go, as we know. 5 females in total, and I would say probably 2, 3 dominant males. One of them is quite relaxed. He came from Kapama, which is a game reserve not too far away. Bucket and BB and Mom and Aunts are all doing well. The lions are all well. VMs have been out to see them. Bucket is growing quickly. I can't wait to go see Bucket again shortly. Now, of course, one of the exciting things is there's been the hyena den. Hi, Bobby. The hyena den cam. So this is a test cam that we're still working on, and we're hoping as we learn more and whatnot, we will upgrade the camera and stuff like that. But a very exciting news yesterday. There's a tiny little baby hyena, probably at the oldest a week or 2. There you go. VM has popped up. There's the link to the live hyena den cam. So for those of you who haven't seen that, Safari Lover, are we going to upgrade the hyena cam to do a zoomies eventually? So of course that hyena den cam and everything is completely self-funded and whatnot. So until we've convinced of certain things, we've tried to keep our budgets as little as possible, to firstly test some of the theories and some of the tech that VM has basically created. I don't know, it's not my thing. So he has done some stuff that people said wasn't really possible or could be quite difficult. Before we spend a lot of money and whatnot, we wanted to make sure everything works. Michael Mashoa lives with me even while I'm crippled. Baby, come here, child. Come here. What you doing? She's staring at a butterfly. I mean, not butterfly, a moth under the light at the moment. Bye, Julie. We will post cam highlights. I didn't see who that is. Lee says the hyena den cam has made me lose sleep. I'm scared of missing something. Hi, Mary. Hey, yeah, you come say hello. Come here, Trouble. No, you want to play. She wants to play. Where's something to entice her in? No. She's got a ball in her mouth and she wants me to throw it. Hey, Trouble. Hey, Trouble. But it's quite fun having the puppy around. She keeps me on my toes. and gives me lots of love. Um, yeah, VM is sitting in the office just past us. Now the other thing is, and we need to thank certain of our viewers, um, and we really appreciate the support that has been given by a few people. I'm not sure if they want to be named, so we will wait to see. Um, and that is that we have started an internship program with we've got two guys who are locally from the local communities here who have shown an interest in becoming wildlife cameramen. So they started a couple of days ago, and there's a few people who have donated directly to our internship program. So all the money for that basically only goes into funding the education of these two young gentlemen, and they will be doing some videos. So you'll be meeting them in the next couple of weeks, and we're very excited, and they're very excited to be part of the program. So they started theoretically on the first, but as these things go, lots of stuff to do and organize. So they will be on Monday. VM's already got Wasani working on archives, and what this does is incredible for us. It enables us to impart some real life skills and knowledge, because most wildlife cameramen don't go to film school. Very few wildlife cameramen have ever studied camera, studied film. You sort of just learn on the go. So it'll enable them to hopefully gain some skills that if they want to go do something, and then maybe they can get a job. And one of the biggest things we learned from that conference we went down to in Durban was that most Africans, whether they be South Africans, Kenyans, Botswanans and whatnot, are sort of really cut out of the wildlife filmmaking industry, and it is severely dominated by particularly the UK and the US, and even that shows that they will bring in their own cameramen, their own presenters. They don't really use local people and local skills, even though the skills are here, and in most African countries they are there. But it is generally that they will bring in their own crew from overseas, own cameras, own everything. So apart from the people who sort of look after the camp and maybe drive a car or two, they actually don't really help that much in terms of improving a lot of the local communities. Now, I'm not saying everyone, and there's lots of like National Geographic's got lots of incredible grants and things like that. But as a general rule, the Africans are completely sidelined in the wildlife filming in particular. So it was quite interesting to watch some of the big wigs from England and from the US answer some very well thought out questions from some of the people in the crowd at some of the at the conference, and it was very interesting. So it's one of those things. Well, the one lady from Kenya, it's quite, says, "We're tired of being characters in our own stories. Why can't we tell our own stories?" Which I thought was a really great little quote. What qualifies someone from London better than an African to tell an African story? Anyway, it was very interesting. It was quite entertaining. It was nice to catch up with Graham and Emily as well, and of course Scotty D. So the conference was very good, and basically what we were chatting about was, how do you, if you don't have the backing of the major networks, how do you make a living? And basically, you do everything and anything you can, is basically what all I could tell to the aspiring filmmakers. It was very interesting because we got to see some of the budgets that are used for the big wildlife documentaries, and wow, some of them actually blow your mind. I won't say which productions and whatnot, but certain productions that came out last year, the year before, they're working on £10 million an hour, which is beyond me, and actually sacrilege if you ask me. And there's so many better ways. money can be spent in spending £10 million for an hour of wildlife TV. I think it can be done a lot better. Oh, I'm not saying better, but I think it can be done for a lot cheaper and helping out the local communities, the local peoples, and stuff like that. So it's an interesting thing. It was very very worthwhile, and I'll probably go again next year, if they invite me back. Um, yes, but some other interesting stuff. So VM and I have been skimping and saving, and we've had a little bit of luck here and there. So we are going to be getting a new camera, which we're very excited about, which is a 4K camera. For us as a little business, it's quite a nice thing because at the moment our stock footage is all shot in full HD, which is great. But none of the big broadcasters will buy stock footage at that's HD. So we do need to upgrade our camera kits to 4K cameras. So yeah, so that's what we've got to do to stay current and be able to pick up some of those bigger jobs from overseas. Um, yeah, so hello Indigo. Well, I'm happy you finally made the live chat. Della James, I'm not including anyone. I'm just stating facts that were made apparent, not by me, but by the people at the wildlife conference that I was listening to. Well, I was a speaker at, and we went to quite a few of the different other talks as well. So it was really really interesting for VM and I to be able to be there, and obviously with Scotty and Graham and Emily, it was nice to catch up with them. Yes, so we're hoping in the next couple of months that we're going to have a few more live cameras going up on waterholes and that, and we are working on our tech to get that out. I agree, shoot your shot, and I am working on that. There's a couple of grant proposals and stuff like that I've started working on that will hopefully get us some money to go make some very cool stories in the next sort of year to 18 months. And the one thing you can guarantee that VM and I will never give up. we will keep we'll keeping at it, as one says. Wait, that was interesting. Uh, Lee, the BBC can afford in charging a TV license. That's why they can work with that sort of money. Agreed, Lee. But my point is, some of that money should stay in Africa, where they're creating their content, or India, or Antarctica is a bad example. But in developing areas, they should be promoting the skills around those areas that you don't need to spend that huge amount of money sending a whole bunch of people on an aeroplane out to Africa. You can send one person, a director and whatnot, and then you can have the African cameramen and producers and whatnot on the ground running it. If you still want to do your post production and edit back in the UK, that's great. But there are cameramen with excellent skills out here in Africa, and I feel they get shortchanged often by the big film crews that come out and spend huge amounts of money just getting their crew from overseas out to Africa. But that's the thing, and the only way to change it is to start doing it ourselves. So quite a lot of the projects we're working on, like Bucket and BB and whatnot, we hope by the time Bucket's old enough, we will have a nice story there that we can make into a movie, and then without having to have those massive overheads and budgets, turn it into something, and hopefully maybe someone will buy it. But again, that's the type of stuff that is quite daunting because it's not really done. Normally you go with an idea or whatnot, and you go get a huge amount of money from someone, and then you go do it. We're doing it the opposite. We're starting with very little money and hoping we can make it work by the end of it. But that's part of the adventure, I guess. And VM and I wouldn't be who we were unless we did. Pickle Green, Mia the White Lion. Oof, yeah, I'm not going to get started on Mia the White Lion. That's another story. But yes, it was a South African crew. Was used, but it wasn't a documentary. It was Blockbuster, and on the Blockbuster films, they do use South African cameramen in Cape Town and in Joburg when it happens. but I was talking specifically about the wildlife documentary industry as a particular one, because I have no interest in, well, not no interest, but maybe one day make a movie. Well, Viam desperately wants to make a horror movie with hyenas and lions and stuff, but we'll see about that. Um, oh, that puppy is playing with her toys. But yeah, so it's been very interesting over the last little while. Thank you, buddy. Hey, no barking. Just because other dogs bark doesn't mean you can bark. Come here. Baby. Come here, Chuck. Come here. Sorry. Naughty. Naughty, naughty, naughty. Come back here. Good girl. Yeah, so I mean, it is one of those things, and we're in a very interesting spot. Well, Viam and myself. There's no one really doing what we're doing. So in some ways that's really good. In some ways it's a bit daunting. So we can't learn from other people's mistakes. We've got to make them ourselves. So yeah, I think if we make a horror movie, we should make a horror movie with a zombie zebra. But that's just my take. But yeah, so trouble. I can see you want to bark again. But yeah, so it's one of those interesting things, and it's very exciting. And Erlene, yes, the cubs of Sandy are fine. As far as we know, she's on a neighboring property at the moment. She was seen on some camera trap photographs a couple of days ago, but she's not on Leadwood currently. And of course, it's quite difficult. I can't really go track. What? Sorry. Just got a message from Jamie. But yeah, so as I said earlier, you might have missed that a bit earlier, that I'm busy figuring out all those leopard ID kits for all the leopards that will be seen on the camera traps and stuff, both the males and females. So I will be sorting that out while I'm still crippled. So I got about 10 more days to finish all those ID kits. And then once we're a little bit more organized with the hyenas and stuff like that, we're going to be asking you guys to help us out with the hyenas. And I know there's a couple of avid hyena fans out there. I saw Michael Fleetwood was on a little bit earlier. But we're going to need that. It's one of those things. I struggle with hyenas. I can do lions and leopards like that, but I struggle with hyena IDs. So we're going to ask your help, for those of you who watch the live hyena cam, to see if you can start organizing some ID kits. I can give you sort of I'm sure you guys have got them there. I said I can give you a template for an ID kit, what we normally need. But thank you, thank you, Gigi. But so yeah, and I think it's quite nice that this is it's very different from what anyone else is doing, and as I said, there's no one else really doing what we're doing. So hopefully, Bumblebee, we do see aardvarks. Yes, I actually have said some really great aardvark sightings on Reedspruit. So hopefully we will be seeing them once I'm out again. Yeah, I think my record was 3 in one night. Hi, Trouble. Come here. What are you doing? Sorry. So as I said, we're going to hopefully add a few more cameras on Reedspruit and the surrounding area. Thank you very much, Julie. We appreciate the sentiment. And as I say, it's just we will persevere. Sinak, we hope that the aardvark aren't actually that rare. They're just not out at the times that most people are out in game drive. So it's actually part of the way they're designed. Now you do get them out in the day in the Kalahari and other places, and I've seen them out in the day even here in Botswana. Jim, I'll get back to you. We have about 6,000 hectares of traverse, so not limited at all. So what happens is lions leopards, hyenas, in particular, which are the main aardvark predators, are very, very active from just before sunset till about 8 o'clock at night. So a couple, 2 to 3 hours after sunset. And then they get lazy and they all go for a snooze. Now, this is not always, this is just generally. So what happens is a lot of your smaller nocturnal creatures, or more vulnerable nocturnal creatures like aardvark, only really in areas where there's a lot of lion, leopard, and hyena activity, get moving much later at night. Oh dear. You're bringing me toys and I'm ignoring you. Come here. Come say hello to everyone. Come on. Come. Oh, you stole it out of my hand, you little rat. Oh dear puppy. Oh, I'm going to fall over. You're going to make Dad fall over. Come on. I'm not throwing it for you. She's being a terror. Yes, Belinda, you are correct. No wild animal makes a good pet. If you really love a wild animal, yes, growl, growl, growl. I've got a toy in the mouth. Yeah, see, Becky, I'm not. Oh, there are rhinos. Yes, we've got black and white rhinos. We have done some videos on rhinos. We will do some more. There we go. There's the puppy. We've just woken up from our nap and we want to play. Yes. You are so scary. Speaking of puppies, it's her dinner time, and it's Viam and my dinner time. So I've got to go cook us dinner. It's been great chatting. Say bye. Grr. Grr. Arr. 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 Bye, guys.